Imagine walking alone on a deserted road in rural Indonesia. The moon is hidden behind thick clouds. The air is strangely still. Crickets that were chirping only moments ago suddenly fall silent. Then in the distance, you notice a pale figure standing motionless beside a banana tree. At first, it looks like a person wrapped in white cloth. Then it begins to move, not by walking, not by running, but by hopping slowly, relentlessly, closer and closer. This is the terrifying legend of the Pocong, one of Indonesia's most famous and feared supernatural beings. The Pocong originates from traditional Indonesian burial customs. In many Muslim communities, the deceased are wrapped in a white burial shroud known as a kafan. The cloth is tied tightly at the head, neck, and feet before burial. According to folklore, if the soul of the deceased is restless or unable to move on, it may return to the world of the living in the same burial shroud. Because its feet remain tied, the spirit cannot walk normally and is forced to hop wherever it goes. The result is a ghostly figure that has haunted Indonesian stories for generations. Descriptions of the Pocong are remarkably consistent across different regions. Witnesses often describe seeing a pale, human-shaped figure wrapped completely in white cloth. Some claim the face is hidden beneath folds of fabric, while others report seeing a horrifying face with dark eyes, rotting skin, and an unnatural grin. Many sightings are said to occur near cemeteries, abandoned buildings, dense forests, and lonely roads late at night. One commonly reported experience involves travelers riding motorcycles through rural villages after dark. Several witnesses have claimed that a white figure suddenly appeared in the middle of the road. Some say it stood motionless until they approached. Others insist the figure began hopping toward them before vanishing completely. In one frequently retold story from East Java, a group of young men were returning home after midnight. As they passed an old cemetery, they noticed what appeared to be a white sack lying beside the road. Curious, they slowed down. Then the sack stood upright. The figure allegedly hopped several times toward them before disappearing behind a tree. The terrified men fled immediately and later swore never to travel that road at night again. Another chilling account comes from workers guarding construction sites during overnight shifts. Several guards have reported seeing a white figure hopping across unfinished buildings. When they investigated, they found nobody there. Some witnesses describe hearing strange sounds before a sighting. Soft rustling noises, distant crying, or unexplained laughter carried by the wind. Others claim that the Pocong can appear suddenly inside homes. One popular story tells of a family who repeatedly heard noises coming from their backyard after midnight. Believing it to be an animal, they ignored it for several nights. Eventually, one family member looked through a window and reportedly saw a white shrouded figure standing silently near a well. When he blinked, it was gone. Whether true or not, stories like these continue to spread throughout Indonesia. The fear of the Pocong has become so widespread that it occupies a unique place in Indonesian popular culture. Horror films, television programs, books, and online videos frequently feature the creature. Entire movies have been dedicated to encounters with the ghost. Yet what makes the Pocong particularly frightening is not its appearance alone. It is the uncertainty. Witnesses often describe a feeling of overwhelming dread before seeing one. They report sudden coldness in the air, an eerie silence, or a sensation that they are being watched. Psychologists suggest that many sightings may be influenced by darkness, fear, cultural beliefs, and the human tendency to interpret vague shapes as familiar figures. A hanging cloth, a tree stump, or even a shadow can appear frightening under the right conditions. But believers argue that such explanations cannot account for every encounter. How do multiple people report seeing the same thing? Why do so many stories share similar details? And why do some witnesses remain deeply shaken years after their experiences? These questions continue to fuel the mystery. Across Indonesia, stories of the Pocong are passed from one generation to the next. Grandparents tell them to children. Friends share them around campfires. Travelers recount them after long journeys through lonely villages. Whether viewed as folklore, superstition, or genuine paranormal encounters, the legend remains alive. Perhaps that is because the Pocong represents something deeply human. Our fear of death, the unknown, and what might exist beyond the grave. So the next time you find yourself alone on a dark road surrounded by silence, and you spot a white figure standing perfectly still in the shadows, you may tell yourself it is only a trick of the light, only a piece of cloth blowing in the wind, only your imagination. But according to Indonesian legend, if that figure suddenly begins hopping toward you, it may already be too late, and somewhere in the darkness, the Pocong is still waiting.